This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 41, How to Speak in Public with Confidence and Be on Top of Your Game by Mary Jaksch of GoodLifeZen.com.
Get ready to maximize your potential with Optimal Living Daily, the podcast that brings you the best in personal development and productivity every day of the week. Your optimal life awaits. Now here's your host, Justin Malik.
Hey, come on, come all to Optimal Living Daily. I am Justin Malik, and this is where I handpick blog posts to read to you. This one today was handpicked possibly out of selfish reasons. If you've listened to episode 0 or know anything about me, you might know that social anxiety is something I struggled with starting at a very early age, and it kind of weaned in and out. The best of which was winning an award in my public speaking class in college for my speech called MySpace Blows. Of course, I didn't want to take that class, and I was forced to be in it because I was a business major, and I was still incredibly nervous back then to the point of having dreams about the speech, but definitely not as bad as it's been at other times. So this post today is about that, getting back to having some confidence when it comes to public speaking. And this one comes from Mary Jaksch, whose story I read to you back in episode 25. Geez, that's 16 episodes ago, but it feels like yesterday. Anyway, that episode tells a lot about her story and specifically about taking her blog from nothing and even worse, losing her inheritance to the success that she is today. So again, that's episode 25 if you want to learn more about her. And I'm not going to read you an ad today. I try to do that as much as possible and rely on you for support. So the best thing you can do if you find value in the show is to visit me online at oldpodcast.com. where if you really want to support the show directly, you can become a patron of the show by contributing, but you can also join my free weekly newsletter to show me that you're engaged and enjoy the podcast. So again, that's oldpodcast.com. And now let's start optimizing your life. How to Speak in Public with Confidence and Be on Top of Your Game by Mary Jaksch of GoodLifeZen.com. The idea of speaking in public can be terrifying. Just imagine for a moment that you're stepping onto a stage and look down at a sea of faces all waiting for you to start. What happens when you imagine that? Most likely your palms will start to sweat and your pulse rate will shoot up, and that's just thinking about it. However, there are strategies that can help you to present and perform with confidence and be on top of your game. When I started out with my first career as a classical flutist, performing on stage was a central part of my work. Over the years, the performance training I received as a musician has stood me in good stead. In this post, I'll share with you my best tips on how to overcome nervousness, speak with confidence, and actually enjoy being on stage. I divided the material into 2 parts. This post is about the psychological strategies that help you to present with confidence. A companion article on Write to Done shows how to prepare the actual content of a presentation. It's called How to Prepare Public Presentations That Knock the Socks Off. Read both to get the full juice. Before we look at the psychological strategies you can employ in order to feel confident and in charge during a public presentation, let's take a look at what fears you may need to overcome. What are your worst fears? Fear number 1, my mind will go blank. Fear number 2, people will think I'm stupid. Fear number 3, I'll be so nervous I'll start to shake, stutter, stammer, or otherwise be unintelligible. Fear number 4, I'll make mistakes. Fear number 5, instead of applauding, the audience will respond with anger or ridicule. As you can see in the list of fears, there are 2 main categories of fears. One is presentation failure, which includes physical or mental problems that mar the presentation, and the other is response failure, which is getting the wrong kind of response from your audience. Response failure comes down to mistakes in the preparation of the actual content of a presentation. You can read more about how to get it right in my companion article, How to Prepare Public Presentations That Knock the Socks Off. In the following tips, I'll show you how to avoid presentation failure in order to feel confident on stage. How to control your mind state through NLP strategies. There are some kick-ass neuro-linguistic programming techniques that can create a confident mind state in an instant. A young guy once came to me in despair because he had failed his driving test 5 times. During each, he was so terrified he could hardly hold the steering wheel because his body was shaking so much. After I taught him to use the NLP anchor technique, he passed the next test without problems. Boy, was he beaming when he told me about it afterward. How to use NLP anchoring technique. This powerful NLP technique allows you to change your emotional state at will. NLP anchoring is based on the concept of being able to get into the most powerful, most appropriate state for a particular task or event, and then being able to access that state exactly when you need it. This means that you can access a confident mind state before you go on stage, as well as during your presentation or performance. The way this technique works is to create a connection between two different experiences in the brain. For example, if you connect a memory of a successful personal experience with a physical sensation, say touching forefinger and thumb together, then each time you induce the physical sensation, the emotional feeling state of the memory will be triggered. There are 4 steps to creating a robust anchor. Number 1, call to mind an experience when you felt confidence. Make the memory vivid by remembering how you felt, what you saw, what you heard, and what you smelt. Number 2, when your memory is at its clearest, activate a physical trigger. This needs to be something that you can do without anyone noticing. For example, making a fist or touching forefinger and thumb together. Don't choose something like touching your toe to your ear. It doesn't look pretty and it's difficult to do on stage. Number 3, repeat steps 1 and 2 with the same or different memories in order to reinforce the anchor. Number 4, test the anchor. Use a physical trigger and notice how your mind state changes accordingly. Note, anchors get stronger through use. Start at least 2 weeks before your presentation and work on strengthening your anchor through practicing steps 1 and 2 over and over. How to rehearse. Musicians and other performers rehearse their performance over and over in order to perfect it. If you want to lift your game as a public speaker, make sure that you rehearse your speech many times. Here are the phases of rehearsal. Phase 1. Rehearse your speech with a simulated audience. Set out a row of chairs in front of you and borrow teddy bears and dolls if you can. Otherwise, you can also put cushions on the chairs in order to simulate the audience. Practice walking onto the stage and face your audience. Remember to use the NLP anchoring technique. Phase 2. Rehearse your speech in front of just one friend or family member. Ask your friend to smile at you while they listen to you and also time the presentation for you. Again, include walking onto the stage and stepping off as part of your presentation. Before you start, take a deep breath and smile at your audience. During your presentation, speak a little more slowly than usual. Phase 3. Invite a small group of staunch friends to listen to your presentation. Follow the guidelines above. Make sure you treat the presentation like a dress rehearsal. Wear the clothes you have chosen for the presentation and simulate stepping onto the stage. How to deal with performance nerves. As the day of your presentation draws closer, you'll notice a rise in tension. That's good. It's the way our mind and body readies for such an occasion. It's important to explain this to yourself in a way that's helpful. Whenever you notice the mounting tension, say to yourself, "Good, I am readying myself." On the day of the presentation, the nervous tension will be more pronounced. As the hour of the performance draws closer, you may experience trembling knees, butterflies in the stomach, and overall tension. This is a result of increased adrenaline production and a subsequent heightened pulse rate. An adrenaline boost may feel difficult to cope with, but it's actually necessary for top performance. Adrenaline helps you to reach beyond your normal capabilities. Butterflies in your stomach? Make them fly in formation. In order to make the butterflies fly in formation, you need to reframe your experience. Instead of telling yourself how nervous you are, say to yourself, "I'm gearing up for the presentation." How to calm yourself before going on stage. Waiting off stage can wear you down. It's good to use the time productively by doing some calming breathing exercises. Exercise 1. Let your arms hang by your side. Now breathe in deeply and simultaneously raise your arms until your palms touch above your head. Then turn your hands back to back and slowly bring them down to your side, exhaling slowly at the same time. Repeat until your pulse rate has calmed down. Exercise 2. Very slowly bring your dominant hand up and lay it gently and kindly upon your heart region. Then breathe softly in and out. How to shine on stage. As you walk onto the stage, your inner tension will be at its strongest. Before you start to speak, take a moment to use your anchor in order to activate a confident mindset. Then, smile. The smile helps you to calm down, and it makes it easy for the audience to connect with you. It's important to structure your introduction in such a way that it captures your audience's attention, as well as allow you to calm down. Use mindful focus. The most important thing is to get immersed in your presentation and not to get caught up in thoughts about how you are doing. If you notice a lot of thoughts, Return to the present moment by noticing your sensory experiences. For example, notice your feet touching the ground. Remember to speak a little more slowly than usual and draw a deep breath in between sentences. Conclusion. Public speaking doesn't have to be scary. It can be fun. The secret of success lies in the preparation and in how you use your mind. As I explained in my companion post, How to Prepare Public Presentations at Rocks, there are strategies that set you up for success. They include chunking down your information, using structures that storytellers have used since ancient times, applying a continuous story thread or motif to your presentation, and creating emotional tension and release within your talk. Most importantly, through using the psychological strategies above, you can control your mind state and access your full potential in order to create a memorable and enjoyable presentation. You just listened to the post titled How to Speak in Public with Confidence and Be on Top of Your Game by Mary Jaksch of goodlifezen.com. I'm definitely interested in trying this out, and I've heard a lot about neuro-linguistic programming over the years, but never tried it out or dove into it, so I found that post helpful. And speaking of helpful, as I mentioned earlier, I'm keeping this podcast ad-free as long as possible, and if you want to help keep it that way for a longer period of time, please support the show by simply visiting my site, oldpodcast.com. I have a short weekly newsletter that actually comes with a gift immediately, and then at least one gift per month for as long as I can do this. So not only does it show that you're interested in what I'm doing here, but you can also get free stuff. So come visit oldpodcast.com and enter your email to show me that you enjoy it. That's episode 41, getting closer to the big 50. I'll see you tomorrow with a post from Mr. Money Mustache. Until then, your optimal life awaits.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.